Listen carefully. I won't stutter. The best since Nick and Sony. Next on the Locked On Bulldogs podcast.
You are Locked On Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Locked On Bulldogs, part of Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. He is Daniel. I am Clint. Together we are Locked On Bulldogs. Today we ask the question, what's real? And we're going to tell you they are real, Daniel. Everything we're talking about is real.
Yes.
And they're spectacular.
And they're spectacular.
They're spectacular. Well. And you need to realize that what we're talking about is not fake. You don't have to guess at it. You don't have to send other people to ask about it. We're telling you.
You don't need to have anybody trip and fall. There's no need to verify.
You don't have to verify. We'll verify.
It's real and it's spectacular.
We're talking about running backs, how spectacular they are. We're talking about improved defensive line play.
Hello.
And a special third segment love for all of you. But Daniel, hit the people with what is real and spectacular about the running backs. And I got to tell y'all, so a lot of times your boy and I, we're in simpatico on a lot of stuff.
We are. We've been doing this a while.
This one took me for a loop. Daniel, I had the dog sideways face going when I heard.
Listen, I mentioned on the last show, I'm tired of talking about the national media. I'm tired of talking about what they think about Georgia. I'm tired of talking about all of that. If you think Georgia lost its best running back last year, I don't know what to tell you.
I can't help you.
They lost their most productive running back from last year's team. They lost one of their most productive offensive players in Trevor Etienne from last year's team. There's no doubt about that. There were times last year, Clint, when we said Trevor Etienne is the best offensive player on the Georgia football team.
Which,
if you want to know why we're excited about this year's offense,
yes,
it's because last year we said things like Trevor Etienne is the best offensive player on this football team, and he was. Therefore, the fact that a lot of those guys are gone makes us feel pretty dang good because they weren't very good last year. No, we have talked about this before, but I was excited this year for Nate Frazier. I was excited for Nate Frazier because Nate Frazier is unequivocally the best running back that Georgia has recruited in terms of ranking coming out of high school, pedigree, the best running back that Georgia has recruited since Zamir White. And before that, Sony Michel. Like, more highly sought after than a DeAndre Swift even was Nate Frazier in terms of running back recruits. And so I was excited to see what this guy was going to do because we felt like, Branson Robinson transfers out, injury-plagued career, wish him the best. Rob coming back from another injury, we're not sure what or when we're going to get out of him. Obviously, there's the freshman last year. You got Dwight Phillips, you got Chauncey Bowen. So, what are we going to get out of these guys? Are either of them going to be able to take a step forward and really contribute? But you knew what you had in Nate Frazier, and you felt like Nate Frazier was going to get a lot of carries. When a guy like Nick Saban says Nate Frazier was the number one running back on my board and I wanted him at Alabama, you feel pretty dang good about the fact that Georgia got him, Kirby got him, and now he's not going to have the same struggles to get on the field because of pass protection and blocking because he's had a full year in the system, Clint. He's been able to grow and learn his position, and therefore his natural talent at running the football, something that Georgia has not had in a while in this backfield. Like, I know that James Cook is an absolutely sensational NFL player, and he had flashes in his Georgia career.
Yes.
But we did not see constant, productive, really good runs out of him or Zamir White, except in little spurts and bursts throughout their career. I think Nate Frazier is poised to be one of the better running backs to play at Georgia in recent memory. And then Kirby said, hold that thought for one moment, because I'm not finished recruiting the running back room yet.
Correct.
And he goes out, he brings in this transfer from Illinois, a guy that honestly, I think everybody was surprised to see go in the portal in the first place. Josh McCrae, really productive at Illinois. You got an Illinois coach coming out and like calling tampering at a media availability. Unsure of the timeline, getting into an argument with John Tweet Sports on Twitter, which is always a great look if you're a coach.
You are literally the head coach of your state's institution.
Yeah, maybe sit this one out, champ. Okay. So Josh McCrae transfers in to Georgia, and now all of a sudden, Clint, Georgia has not one, but two backs that could start nearly anywhere in the Southeastern Conference. Like that, Clint, is the Georgia way. The Georgia way is we don't have one running back better than your running back.
No.
We got two guys better than your best guy, and we are going to make you pay.
Correct.
For letting them all come to our school. Josh McCrae and Nate Frazier, I fundamentally believe, are going to be a problem for SEC defenses this year. You are not going to be looking at a school that finishes outside the top 100 nationally rushing, outside the top 14 in the SEC rushing. No, you are not going to be looking at that repeated. These two backs have a chance to be the most productive backs at Georgia since Nick and Sony, two of the greatest to ever do it in the red and black, and certainly the greatest running back tandem in modern college football history.
Yes. Correct.
I'm not saying they will achieve that level. Nick Chubb is the greatest runner in SEC history.
Categorically correct.
But I think they have a chance to approach the level of productivity of a Nick and Sony, Clint, and I would beg you to try to talk me out of it.
I can't talk you out of it, Daniel. This backfield, last year, coming into the season, here, I'm going to get back in the Wayback Machine, but only a year ago. This is what we were hearing out of camp this time last year.
Okay.
We weren't hearing great things about Carson Beck against the defense. We were hearing the defense was taking its absolute shots at batting balls, picking them off, and covering that. And we counted that as the defense is much improved. This is the best.
The secondary must be really good. No, it turns out he just throws it to the other team.
A lot. Okay. We were also hearing the running back room riddled with injury.
Yes.
And that ETN, the transfer, all of a sudden transcended and was the best running back on the team.
Mm-hmm. And Nate suspension, Frazier, if you remember, at the beginning of the season.
The beginning of the season,
had that little suspension, but it was like, but this is ETN's show.
Okay. Oh, how the turns have tabled, Daniel. Mm-hmm. Because this year, I ain't hearing nothing of that. I'm hearing the opposite. I'm hearing Colby Young, Noah Thomas doing work, but I'm also hearing Nate Frazier is doing work. McCrae doing work. This is a 1-2 punch. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the Georgia way. It is not 35 carries on one dude. It's 12 each. 14, maybe one of them gets. Maybe one Cash Jones gets that screen pass and a little safety valve. That's the Georgia way. Fresh, longevity, and run the dang ball, Bobo. Get ready for it this year, guys. This is going to be an offense that will absolutely body blow you. We didn't have body blows last year. We were throwing to throw, and we were throwing to try to set up the run, and the run never came. This year, with these two, plus a freshman that we're hearing some news about as well. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This storyline has totally changed from last year's camp, Daniel.
Yeah.
And I think you are dead on. I'm going to come back after this. I'm going to let you know, actually, the real news out of Media Day and what people are guessing is the grouping of top teams that are going to compete for the SEC. But first, these. And these are, in fact, Game Time. Daniel and I love Game Time. You should love them as well. Because last minute, you might want to head to a ball game with family and friends. Maybe you're off of work and you just want to go ahead and take that exit. That's really not your exit. That's the exit before it goes downtown, gets into the ballpark, gets in the game. Easiest way to grab last minute tickets without stress is Game Time. Save on tickets, splurge on food and drink, merch, and even invite a bigger party with you. Game Time makes buying tickets fast and simple. Price and app actually drop closer you get to first pitch. Lowest price guarantee. That takes the worrying out of buying. Game Time is the official ticketing partner of Locked On MLB, making it easy to browse the app for an exciting upcoming game. Braves are playing. The Dodgers, Yankees have been in town. Go check out the Braves. Watch Ronald Acuna mash some home runs. 10% off exclusive zone deals for FIFA Club World Cup matches. Take the guessing out of buying tickets for Game Time. Download the Game Time app. Create an account. Use promo code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account. Redeem code LOCKEDONCollege. $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets. Lowest price guaranteed. Daniel, you're right. That running back room is exciting. Again, Josh McCrae, if you look back at what he did, he was a freshman. He nearly had the same identical season his freshman year and his senior year at Illinois. The 2 years in between, injury riddled. He wasn't on the field that much, but he impact starter day one. And as a senior against some very, very, very good defenses, he showed up. I think he's going to get just right into it already with Georgia. But Daniel, this is real and it's spectacular because a lot of people, you and I both, think that people have just really, really gone over above and beyond to make Texas the darling that they want to root for. Ooh. And they've already handed them every winning thing that they could ever imagine, Daniel. Now, look, Steve Sarkisian, is he good play caller and gets guys in position to go ahead and perform? Yeah, guys, he is. He actually is pretty dang good X's and O's coach, schematically scheme. He does a dang good job. Okay. Better than Lane. I will say that, as much as that pains me, because I actually grew a lot of respect for Lane last year. I think he blew it all this offseason, but that's besides the point. Texas is everybody's favorite to win the SEC. And so what I want to do, Daniel, is I want to talk about the last 3 years, the odds on favorite to win the SEC in the predictive order of finish. I want to tell you why picking Texas as chalk to win the SEC, I'm not mad about. I wouldn't do it, but I'm not mad about it. And where Georgia ranks within the elites. We're going to go back to 2023, and the predictive order of finish for the SEC championship game was Georgia, Alabama, LSU, 1, 2, and 3. Daniel, that's what people thought. That's what the goal or the hope was beginning of the year. Georgia, Alabama does in fact go to the championship game. Alabama wins, goes on to the playoff, and gets smacked around in that one. Sure. But 2023 was, in fact, Georgia, Alabama, LSU. Alabama winds up winning that. Georgia did not. LSU had a down year. I mean, kind
of a down year.
Finishing 12th, 10-3 with that roster wasn't great. 2024, the championship media poll of order of finish had Georgia, Texas, Alabama, Ole Miss in that order, 1, 2, and 3. Texas winds up being number 1 going into the SEC championship game. Tennessee's 3rd. Ole Miss is 4th. So 2 out of the 4 teams are there. Order finish. Georgia winds up winning the SEC and then going on to, we all know what happened with that. Daniel, what I'm saying is the grouping of the teams. You might have a Missouri go ahead and sometimes creep up to back before when it was East and West, before it was one alignment. Missouri gets up there and finishes 2nd right behind Georgia in the division. But for the most part, the grouping of teams is accurate. It's a cluster map. If let's just throw in darts at a dartboard, and the more darts you have, the more likely you are to hit on the board. Not maybe a bullseye every time, but doing that. So in 2 years, the past 2, just a very small sample size. We can go back further than that. Yeah. But I really just want to focus on this. There's a good amount of times. It's not like all of a sudden the SEC winner is shockingly out of nowhere, Daniel. Again, you might have a Missouri every now and then.
Yeah.
This year, odds on favorite to win the SEC is Texas. Georgia is 2nd in there. LSU is 3rd. Alabama as well. Daniel, it's safe to say what's right about those, and it's going to come down to a couple of series within games is going to determine the order of finish of those 4 teams. Now,
yeah,
I think people should look at A&M. I really do. I think people should not brush over them this year. But between LSU, Alabama, Georgia, and Texas, one of those teams is likely going to win the SEC. Give me a bet. I'm taking that every single day of those 4. 4 to the field? No, give me the 4. However, within the order of finish of those 4, it gets really clouded really quick within that room, Daniel. LSU might be down on those. You could probably say 4 on that. Okay, I'm not going to fault you for that. But they're real and they're spectacular in that the 3 teams that I would bank on money 99 out of 100 times is Alabama, Texas, and Georgia. And if you're going to tell me that those are the 3 teams, I'm also going to go ahead and say those 3 teams are likely playoff contending teams. And here's what we need to understand. And here's what's real about this. And here's what Texas fan, you guys don't understand about football. You can predict that and you can get into the playoff, but it comes down to, like I said, a few series decisions and a punt versus a third down conversion, shaving 2.5 minutes off of a drive in the third quarter, or needing to go 5 plays and then you're out punting to the team is going to determine that order of finish. And this is where I just come back and say, if you're saying those 3 are there, I'm not mad Georgia's not predicted to finish the SEC number 1 and win the conference. I'm not mad about it. Because, and it's fine to say this, sometimes the ball bouncing a certain way does really matter.
Mm-hmm.
And it's true. You could set yourself in position, but at the end of the day, you have to execute. You have to not drop passes. You have to not peek inside on a block. All of those little tiny things. It's not as binary 1s and 0s as you would like. Those 3 teams, one of them's winning the SEC. And if you're telling me Georgia's going to be one of those 3, that also means we're in the playoff. And all of a sudden, I don't really care where I'm in the playoff because I got Kirby Smart and this Georgia roster in the playoff. So it's real and spectacular. Texas, do your victory lap. Have fun. Truly. I don't care. And you can't make me care because odds are on Georgia making the playoff and Kirby Smart being in there again. And I trust him far above your coach every day and twice on Sundays, Daniel.
Yeah. And you know, you only went back 2024, 2023. If you go back all the way to 2020, there's only been one time that a school preseason by the media in the top 2 has not reached the SEC championship game. And so you said that top 3, but we're talking about just the top 2. Only one time has a school been predicted to be in the top 2 and not then gone on to reach the SEC championship game. That was 2021. When Alabama failed to make the SEC championship game after, but LSU made it instead, and Georgia destroyed LSU in that game in 2021. It is interesting. Georgia comes in second in the poll this year, and that history should say Georgia fans should feel fairly good about their chances making it to Atlanta like that. There tends to be some reality to that very non-scientific poll by a bunch of media members in the SEC. But Georgia and Texas notably ahead of Alabama in that poll. Yes. And so we'll see how it all shakes out. I got one more real storyline that we're going to go to right after these.
Speaking about that SEC championship game, maybe people want to start budgeting to go ahead and get down to the bins, Daniel, and get prepared. You should. We're fine with that. Make some hotel accommodations. But right now, if you want to do that, because around that time we got Thanksgiving and travel and Christmas and gifts and the whole thing, it gets overwhelming. Don't just let your money dictate what you're doing. You dictate how your money works for you. And Monarch Money helps you achieve the goals, visibility, and control over finances. It's much more than a budgeting app. It's not just checking on spending. It's a whole entire CFO, CEO suite at your disposal to go ahead and gain wealth and plan for the future. We've had those goals for a long time. Daniel and I both have desires to get out and try to get to games as much as possible. And that's where Monarch Money comes in. We get to set aside, attain goals, achieve them, get after them. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use promo code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com. 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com. Code LOCKEDONCollege for half off your first year.
All right, we're back in the third segment talking about storylines that are
third segment, people.
It's our favorite people are listening right now. Our favorite segment is happening right now. And listen, we're talking about storylines that are real and they are spectacular. Not everything in this sport is real. Not everything in this world is real. You got to be careful. You got to have your head on a swivel. You got to be sure that you know what you're getting yourself into. These are storylines that you can trust. These are storylines that are real, that relate to your 2025 Georgia Bulldogs. And I'm here to tell you, Clint, the storyline that I'm not hearing enough people talk about. I know one guy that's talking about it. He was a guest on the show a couple months back. But I'm not hearing nearly enough people talk about this schedule. You talked about Texas.
Oh, here we go.
We've talked about Alabama. Those are the teams that are slated to finish right there on either side of Georgia in that preseason poll. It's not that they have to play Georgia this year. That's not the issue.
Sure.
The issue is that they have to get on their little airplane and they got to fly on over to Athens.
Yes, sir.
And Texas, we learned last year, is more interested in taking pictures and getting autographs than they are eating. But Kirby and his players came to eat. They're not here to get their picture made.
No, sir.
They came to eat. When you come to Athens, you better be ready to eat because the buffet is going to be served.
Yes, sir.
And they're locking the doors. Like you're not getting out until Kirby is satisfied. Like
they dictate how many minutes you must play the game. You must
field a team for that many minutes.
Correct.
Here's the storyline, Clint.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you've heard, but Georgia's on a 31-game home winning streak right now. I'll say it again.
Please.
31 games. Home winning streak. I'd like to ask you a non-political question, if I might.
I only am interested in those, by the way.
Do you remember the COVID-19 virus? Is that something that you remember?
I do.
Okay. All right. Yes. Many of us remember that. You know, I was at the SEC tournament watching Georgia win a basketball game when the NBA season got canceled.
Literally mid-game.
Mid-game of that game, my buddy looks over at me and goes, they just canceled the NBA season. And I was like, what are you talking about? And then Georgia won the SEC tournament. We were the last team to win a tournament game, and I'm pretty sure that means you win the tournament. So
say I'm wrong.
It was almost a full year before that Georgia lost its last home game. It was in September of 2019, Clint. Last time. No, I'm sorry. October 12th of 2019 was the last time that the Georgia football team lost a home football contest. It has been 5 years, Clint, since this has happened. An entire class of Georgia football players has come and gone and never, not once, not ever, never lost a football game in Athens. Now, I get that Texas is a formidable opponent and they have a legendary quarterback who has done nothing but perform on the highest level consistently in his career. And I get that Alabama is coached by the greatest college football coach of all time and therefore must be taken seriously.
Correct.
But these two teams, one of which failed to beat Georgia in 2 tries last year, both have to come to Athens this year. Kirby knows about that winning streak, Clint.
Of course he does.
And Kirby cares. It doesn't matter what he tells you. Kirby cares deeply about that winning streak. We're not talking about fake storylines right now, but an example of a fake storyline is that Sanford Stadium's not a difficult place to play.
That is a fake storyline.
A real storyline is Sanford Stadium is a place where the home team hasn't lost in 2 presidents. That's a real storyline.
Literally.
Okay, so if you're coming to Athens this year, may God have mercy on your soul, because Kirby and this team are not in the business of losing games in Sanford Stadium. And Clint, that is a storyline that heading into this season, I could not be more focused on, because it is very real and it is very spectacular.
It's very real. It's very spectacular. Alabama 2019 had 31 game home winning streak on their resume as well. USC from 2001, 2003 had 36. 2021, 2005 USC teams all the way up. That's a lot of home wins as well. Clemson up until 2022 had 40 consecutive home winning football games. Georgia right now on the precipice of getting close to that. It's quite impressive what they're able to do. Coming to Athens, the game day experience, the atmosphere inside the stadium, everything is top notch. Kirby Smart home cooking is and this just in as well. Home after a bye, Daniel. Does that sound sound exciting to you?
So you're saying that at the buffet he's going to have an extra week to prepare the dishes? That's what you're saying?
What I'm trying to tell you is
the cook's going to be in the kitchen all week.
The menu is a little bit better, Daniel, is what I'm trying to say. Okay. And for instance, just out of a hypothetical situation, in September, maybe September 27th, Georgia's at home coming off of bye week in which Kirby Smart prepares for Alabama. Daniel, that sounds advantageous, if I'm going to be honest with you. Sounds really good to me.
Yeah.
That is real and is spectacular. It is a big deal. The best coaches take that atmosphere in it, and you could look back at various games that were very interesting to me during that run, and still kind of are. That Sanford Stadium, y'all won a few games in that 31. Okay, that's what we're trying to say. So get in the stadium and get there. It is real. It is spectacular. He is Daniel. I am Clint. This is Locked On Bulldogs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. We'll be back tomorrow talking more storylines. We got over-unders. We got bets. We got season win totals. We're trying to get M-Dubs back on out here. M-Dubs, come on back to the pod, my man. I know you ain't got a damn thing to do, so get on back here. We'll see you guys then.
See ya.